everybody hear me clearly?
I can hear you. Yeah, Haripriya can hear you. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good
Hi.
evening.
Yes,
How are you?
I was just making sure that you could all hear me clearly, and I could hear you all clearly too. Yes, so I'm going to hit record. I think I've already hit record, and let's go for it. So welcome, Bhagya. Welcome. Thank you for choosing to be on. Thank you for when I asked you if you would be willing, if it was light for you to be on the first possibilities call.
And I said, honored.
The reply that I got from you was just so kind and so wonderful, as you all are. It's something that I've always known you as, and I've always seen this kindness and this gentleness that this comes across you. And what a huge inspiration you are for each one of us.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Yes, and I make a request to please mute yourselves, and whenever you want to unmute yourselves to ask a question, please feel free to do that. Else the recording might not be clear. Thank you. All right.
So let me say,
so we've known you,
namaste to everybody first for choosing to be on the call with us. I'm honored to be with all of you and extremely grateful. What possibilities can we see together? Yes.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. We know you as the lover.
I can't hear you, Chandana. I missed what you said. I couldn't hear you. Thank you. Everybody keeps telling me, leave your hair loose, leave your hair loose. So today I dared to leave my hair loose. That's, I always like it in a clip. So,
I know you as a lovable bhai.
Yeah. I could not hear what you said, Chandana.
There's something, yeah. You know, I'm in Chandigarh. I'd come here for a few classes, and what will it take to have ease with the internet and everything technological? Yeah. So I would love to ask you, Bhagya, about your, I won't call it a journey. I would call it your discovery of you. I would ask you to talk about how and what made you choose Access Consciousness. What did you create with the tools of Access Consciousness, and what are you creating with the tools of Access? Lots of questions all at once, right?
Yeah. And I will take them one by one.
Yes.
We're talking about 2012.
Okay.
No, I got an invitation to listen to a telecall on some telesummit. I don't recall which it was, but I think it was Dr. Dane who was on the call. And he said something that was very dear to me. He said, ask questions and ask, how does it get any better than this? And what else is possible? So that what else is possible is something that I grew up with. I was always like, what else is possible? So it felt like coming home, and it felt so simple. I mean, I had invested my time and my energy and money in learning a lot of healing modalities for the past 20, 25 years prior to that. And I have to say that all of them helped. They all work. They all worked for me.
Just a second.
Chandana, would you like to make me the host?
Yes, I think I'm just going to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking that looks like Reshma, but they say it's Chandana. Looks like Reshma.
Yeah.
Do I need new glasses? I just got new glasses. Well,
we do these things, you know. We do these things just to confuse people around us.
yeah, well, I was momentarily confused. And I trusted myself. I said, that looks like Reshma. Yes. It is.
Chandana, I think you made Bhargavi the host.
Oops, sorry. Oh my God, Reshma. Okay, did I? All right. All right.
I will wait and
Yeah. Just
Good evening.
Hi. Okay, just
Chandana, it's okay. I'll figure it out.
no. I think I've got it.
Okay, cool. Got it.
I got it. Yeah. Why is it coming as Bhargavi time and again? Are you the host now?
Not yet.
there is a canine contribution also from somewhere. And it's lovely.
So strange because every time I click on something, somebody else.
Ah, there it is. I was wondering where the dog was. Hey, so cute. My good. Now everything is going to work well.
Yes,
I'm the host
it did.
now. There you go,
Yes.
Bhagya.
And so it
Thank
is.
you.
All right.
Okay. So
Yes. So we were talking about how in 2014,
2000.
you were 2012, you were on a tele summit and you heard Dr. Dane.
Yeah, and he
Talk
spoke
about
about asking
questions.
questions, and that's something I've always done and always liked to do, especially what else is possible. I always said, I wonder what else is possible. I wonder what else is possible. And many things have showed up that way, but listening to him on the call was like, wow, that sounds interesting. That sounds easy. That sounds really simple. And soon after, there was a bars class in Bangalore. That was the 29th of April 2012. Vivek and I were both in that class. And after that, there was no looking back.
Vivek is your son.
Yeah, Vivek is my son.
Right. Yes.
So my SUN and SON also.
Yeah, that's a mom talking, right?
That's mom talking. So 29th of April 2012, we were in that class together. And the 26th of March 2013, I was in the facilitators class in Rome. That was in 11 months. And I promise you, it was only through using the tools and asking questions. And I always tell people, if they're willing to listen to me, the first page of the Access Consciousness Bars manual, called the Introduction to Access Consciousness, make an energetic smoothie out of it and ingest it. And you're set for lifetimes after lifetime.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it has in it the essence of what access is.
Yes.
Every word there is important. Gary Douglas, in his wisdom, has not waited for the CF class to give the pearls of wisdom to people.
Yes.
It's in the introduction to Access Consciousness in the first page of the Bars Manual. And I very diligently use the tools, the questions, especially how does it get any better than this? What else is possible? What is this? What do I do with this? Can I change this? And if yes, how do I change this? And if not, leave it, things like that.
Right.
And
Yes.
I cannot even begin to tell you how much who the Dickens does this belong to has helped me.
Who the Dickens does this belong to? I like that.
So who does it belong to? Who does it belong to? You ask and you realize none of this is yours.
Yes.
So
Yes, it is that.
you're talking to someone who didn't even have a passport prior to 2012. I had never wanted to go anywhere. My home was my universe and I was happy being there. So you got a Tatkal passport, and then at that time, it was, how things show up when you're trying to move forward, and then everything has to, show up to either block you or lock you into a certain space. So that was the year when some Indian fishermen were shot at and killed by some Italian sailing boat or whatever, and a lot of stress there. And so till the last day of travel, I had not got my passport. Not saying that I could travel. And I'm like, how does it get any better than this, even at that time? And then the morning of the day I was supposed to leave, I got an intimation saying that your visa has been approved and you can go.
Wow.
So Murali, my husband, said, he called the travel agent. He said, we'll come and collect the passport. So the travel agent said, no, you don't need to come. I will send somebody. And
that's the ease, right? That starts to show up.
Well, you should listen to the story hereafter.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to have left at 12 from a place, the MG road kind of. It will take about an hour, if at all. Even if you crawl, you need to get here in like 2 hours. 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30.
Oh, okay.
3:30, 3:45. The cab came to take me to the airport. I was supposed to be there by 6. 3:30, 3:45, 4 o'clock. There's no sign of the person. We're calling the travel agent and he's saying he's already left. He should be there soon. So we said, could you give his number? We could call him and find out. He doesn't have a cell phone. Really? Wow. In this day and age, somebody doesn't have a cell phone. Are you kidding me? So I was like sitting quietly asking questions and everybody's going around in circles. And then around, and the cab driver, he's telling me, from here to my house, from my house to the airport, it takes about 2 hours. On one of those good days, it might be an hour and a half. I needed to be there at 6.
Right.
And then around 4:45, nearing 5, we get a call. Where is your house? I said, who are you? Like, I'm the one carrying the passport. He'd borrowed the phone from somebody and called the number. And then Murali directed him to our house. He was inebriated and, falling all over the place. But he gave the passport and Murali was so happy. He tipped him beautifully for having got here in spite of everything.
Right.
And the cab driver is telling me, don't worry, Ma. I will make sure that you get to the airport in time. And you will not believe me. 1 minute to 6, I was at the airport.
Yeah,
So
I believe you. I believe that magic. I believe that magic that you be in. I believe, and I see that constantly in my life too, how time truly can't stop us.
Yes.
I mean, that's the one thing that really can't stop us from doing and being where we want to be and what we choose to create. And that's when, you realize that, you have that power over even time.
Yeah. Really.
It's literally like when we say time stops, It's literally like we stop time to make sure we reach where we have to.
Yeah. And full space like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, yeah.
It's fun.
That's so
A
wonderful.
lot of
Wow. Yeah.
So on the last day of facilitators class, Sudha Murari, my friend, and I, we didn't get place in front. Only Neela from UK, she had got a place in front. And people are so tall, we couldn't even see them. So we went and sat on the windowsill at the back. I just said, how does it get any better than this? And so in the middle of the class, Lydia, one of the participants, she asked Neela, where's your mom? So she's wondering, like, Mom? My mom? Like, what do you mean? Then she realized I was the only gray-haired lady there from India. So she put two and two together and said, she's sitting at the back on the windowsill. She got up from the hall, came round from, round the hall, and she came to me and she said, I would like you to take my seat in front. I said, really? Why would you want to do that? I'm quite comfortable here. She said, no, I insist. She took me around. She made me sit in her chair and she sat down on the carpet there.
Wow.
In the evening when Gary said, does anybody have anything to say? I said, well, I want to tell you something that you probably know already, that the tools work. I just said, how does it get any better than this? And then Lydia offered me this space. Well, she did think that I was Neela's mom, but I'm used to being mom, so that's okay.
Yeah.
And it was then that Dr. Dane got up from the podium and he said, you know what, Bhagyalakshmi? I would be proud to be your son. And gave me a hug, and that went viral, and Dr. Susanna Mittermeier then posted it on Facebook. And it has been like that. I have children all over the world now.
Yes.
Vivek says, I'm the only one who came the normal way. Baki, everybody's...
Baki, everybody's just been adopted by Bhagyama.
Yeah, they were adopted.
I remember seeing you. Yes, I remember seeing you the first time in Delhi. I think it was a COP class. And I remember you sitting probably in the 4th row with everybody fighting for the 1st and 2nd row, all putting their shawls and putting their books and making sure that they're able to bags their seat. And you just walking in with the ease of just knowing that wherever you be, you will receive the energy. I remember seeing you and looking at that energy, that ease that you had around you. And I said to myself, wow, that's the ease I would like in my life. Just to know that wherever I am, you don't have to really be right there. It's the energy that you be, that people will see you, have you, find you, and you will receive what you have to receive.
True. That is so true.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, so wonderful. So let's now talk about your journey since then.
Yes.
How much have you created, lady?
Yeah.
And look at you looking also sexy with that new hairstyle. I love it. You look so beautiful.
Thank you. I'm extremely uncomfortable with my hair loose, but I have been asked.
I think we'd like that more often, please. We'd like you to be uncomfortable with that hair.
Okay, maybe let me be bold enough to do that today.
You look lovely.
Thank you.
You look absolutely lovely. Yeah.
So it has been an incredible journey, and the more I use the tools, I realize the better things work. And it's not about like, I have somebody who said, I ask questions. I ask, how does it get any better than this? Whenever there is a problem, I always ask that. I said, well, if you were to ask that more often, maybe those problems won't show up at all. That's a possibility, right?
So true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I did lots, became facilitator for Right Relationship for You, for Talk to the Entities. And then I created my own specialty class. I call it the Artless Art of Allowance.
What a beautiful name.
Think like, why that class I really have to do. And so the willingness to always be in allowance takes so much stress out of life, So whatever is, and you're aware of everything, you see everything, you notice everything, you observe everybody and everything without a point of view. It is the most freeing thing, I think, in the universe.
Yeah.
the willingness.
Truly, I mean, allowance is something that can actually change your entire reality. The way you perceive things, the way you receive, the way people are around you, everything suddenly starts to change so magically by you just being an allowance. So I mean, that's a class where I would love to sit in your class and, be facilitated. I have not had the privilege of being facilitated by you as yet, Bhagya. And I would love to be facilitated by you. And this class is sounds just so wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, the art of being the allowance. Wow.
So when
I mean,
you
it's
say
like
it's an artless art, that means it's really
artless
simple.
art. Yeah, right?
It's very
Yes.
simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
We make it difficult. We start to do the allowance. We start to work at the allowance, which actually takes us away from being the allowance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
It has us
people,
constantly judging ourselves.
well, that in and of itself is enough to put everything off. Judgment,
Yes.
the moment judgment steps in, consciousness steps out, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
So,
you got to kill one to have the other one living.
yeah, true. It's
One has to die. Yeah, I'd rather choose judgment to die.
I don't have a point of view about judgment also, but the willingness to choose to never be in that space, is
Yes,
what opens you up to a lot of possibilities. Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So it is like this. We all know about the tools, and we've all heard about them, and we've all read about them, and we've studied them. That's 40% of the work. The
Yeah.
60% is how we apply it in our lives.
Yeah.
Like Albert Einstein said in his wisdom, applied knowledge is wisdom. So what
Yes.
good is knowing if we don't apply it? And so it has to become like the breath.
Yes.
We don't breathe sometimes, or most of the times. We breathe all the time. That is how we need to be using it all the time. And after a while, you don't even have to verbalize questions. You are the energy of the question. You are
Yes.
that space and consciousness, that awareness is available to you at all times.
Yeah, that's something that is so beautiful, because initially, yes, we do have to work at it and be conscious about when we step into judgment, when we are not being the allowance. And then it's like when we are constantly being that energy and constantly not judging ourselves for stepping out of allowance, but just being aware of us stepping out of allowance and actually asking us and just getting aware of, getting into allowance. It's like almost, oh, okay, I wonder what that was, what actually got me into judgment. Interesting point of view. It's just so easy, right? You just use that tool and you instantly know that that was a judgment. And now, when I am in allowance, what can I create from here? And after practicing that for a while, what I noticed with me too was that there was this space where I would just be. Interesting point of view. Because, like what you said, that we don't have to really work at it after a while. Yeah, you just become that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I have noticed is that I always ask myself, if something like that shows up, who am I choosing to be in this moment?
Yeah.
If I were choosing to be the infinite being that I am, would this even exist in my reality? Would this even be there for me to deal with? And most of the times the answer is no. And even before I say interesting point of view, I will check, who does this belong to? What am I aware of? Because like Gary always says, consciousness is not always comfortable. Awareness is not always comfortable.
Yes.
You become aware of so much. You can actually, it's so palpable, this awareness of what's going on in people's universes. But if they don't seek your help and if they don't want facilitation, you just are aware of things. And
Yes, and another thing,
in those moments when facilitation is not required and nobody has asked you, you become the energy, the space and consciousness that can be an energetic contribution to others. They don't know you're doing it, You don't have to tell them, but you can just be there.
Yeah. Yeah. You know about the space that's uncomfortable, Bhagya, what I find really interesting is when I resist,
Yes.
when I resist the awareness, is when it's more uncomfortable.
Yes.
When I am willing to receive the awareness, even if it's something that I don't want to receive, I don't want to look at it, but I'm willing to push my barriers down and I'm just like, okay, what is that awareness? That discomfort and that what we look at as so much of discomfort around the awareness just melts and it starts to create an ease around the awareness.
Yeah.
That even if it's something that we're not looking at, even if it's something we don't want to know, we can ask questions around it and change it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
One of the things which helps is awareness is always like a feather touch.
Yeah.
And there isn't a charge around that, an emotional charge around that.
Yeah.
To me, that is the difference.
Yes.
Just knowing something doesn't necessarily mean I have to do something about it, but I can be something that can help.
Yes. Yes.
So when we say, like, would an infinite being feel or think this way? The answer is no. So the moment you ask that, you are back to being that space.
Yes.
It takes less than a split second.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Bhagya, could I ask you a question, please?
Yeah, sure, please.
Can we use the tools against us?
Can you give me an example, please?
No, so my question to you is, I can talk about me. So I've been using the tools for 2.5 years now, and I won't say anything a lot has changed. However, I'm not aware, like, I think I'm not using it correctly because maybe I have too many projection and expectation out of what I'd like my life to be like. However, it's like I'd like to be somewhere and that's not getting created. So do you think that we could use the tools against us?
So when you say, I want to get somewhere and that's not getting created, then you're using it against you because that's not a question. That's a conclusion and a judgment to vote.
Right.
So if you had turned it into a question like, how can I get to this faster in a way that is easier and in a way that is fun for me and a contribution to me and everybody else, then things would shift. You know how when you say, I want to get there, but I'm not getting there, you put a full stop after that, right? You put a full stop after a statement.
Yes.
And everything comes to a stop there. So now, not that it is wrong, it's come into your mind that that's what it is.
Right.
So you then say, and how does it get any better than this? And what else is possible for me that I have not yet considered? And then things will shift because the energy of the question has the ability to shift things. But as long as we are concluding something and judging ourselves, then we really are working against us. Because when somebody judges us, we don't like it, right?
Yeah.
But we judge ourselves all the time. Most people do. And that's okay. For what reason? So it is like this, that if it were an awareness, you would ask a question and then shift that. But if you conclude that that is how it is, then that is how it will be, because that's how potent and powerful you are. Like they say, you have energy, tremendous energy, and you either use that to create something phenomenal, and if you don't create anything phenomenal, then you will create crap, become a compulsive crap creator, because energy is energy and it has to be used this way or that. So I think the greatest service we can do to ourselves is to get out of our own way. And if we do that, make sure that we are not making statements. Make sure that we are not jumping to conclusions. We could, if we want, jump to possibilities. They are endless. But the moment we come to a conclusion, everything comes to a stop there. Does it answer your question, Reshma?
Yes, Bhagya. Thank you so much.
So if you can go through a day, like maybe even half an hour of a day, just being in the question, turn whatever shows up into a question. I mean, you can't say, will this ever change? I mean, that's not a question. That's a good conclusion with a question mark behind. So, so what would it take to change this now? I don't even say what would it take, because that means you need to do something else. My favorite question is, I wonder what it would be like. I wonder what it would be like to be in that class, to get the visa, to travel with ease, for money to show up more than what is required at any given point in time. What would it be like? Requires you to be the energy that will receive that. Because the universe is always willing to give you more than what you ask for.
How beautifully said, Bhagya. I mean, that is something so beautifully said. Wow. And having said that, can I come in? Reshma, can I come in, darling?
Yes, sure. I have a question though, but after you.
Yes, so what you were talking about was really interesting, because something that Isha and I were talking today was, she said, I heard Dr. Dean say that energy is energy till it actualizes.
Yes.
Right? So what was that issue? Energy is just energy until you choose to actualize it.
Yes.
So when you choose to actualize it, is how you actualize it, what you actualize it as, it actually shows up in your reality. That
puts you in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and it's just energy.
Yes.
And that's what you were talking about, being. It's like,
yes,
that's the energy that we be.
Yeah. And trying to do without being is like trying to build a house without putting in the foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to crumble and fall all over our heads.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
That's my next question to both of you. So are you saying we don't do anything and just be?
No.
How easy would life be? Just sit and I am being. Doesn't work that way, honey.
It's like I always say, whoever came up with the English alphabet must have been a really wise person, because there are 26 of them, but we never use them like A to Z like that. We pick and choose letters to make words. But the way in which they come, it's like B and then D and then H, right?
Yeah.
In that order they come. So I always say you can have whatever you desire if you do what is required. But in order to do that, you have to first be it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely it does.
So
and that's
the person who is being will do the most, will have the most. We cannot do unless we be. And to the degree that we choose to be, we will create.
Yeah.
Because the bandwidth is not like limited. Okay, so you were born on Monday, so this much for you. Tuesday, by Sunday, there's nothing left. It's not like that. That bandwidth of creative capacities is available to each and every one of us. And to the degree that we choose to use it, to that degree, we can actualize things. And anybody can. And if you have a desire, that means you can. If you didn't, you wouldn't have that desire. So to me, things are like really, really simple. There's no rocket science about it. If I am the energy that is required for something to actualize, I need to be totally and fully occupying my space, which means I need to be present. Right? I need to be present in the moment. I'm not thinking about dinner. I'm not thinking about the next call that I need. Nothing. Being here fully. Like that, being wherever you are totally allows you to access more awareness, allows you to take steps that will accelerate the actualization of your dream. And then there is no struggle. There is only fun. There is only joy. There's a tremendous amount of joy in that creation. And there's no struggle there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work,
Yes.
but no struggle.
Really, yeah, that is so beautifully said, Bhagya. So simply put, so beautifully explained. And what I have noticed with my whenever I find something that I'm choosing to create and desiring to have that, and it's not showing up, the question I always go to is, what am I not being here?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, what are you not being? What are you not willing to be that if you would actually be it, would have you actualize it? It's when you are not willing to be all of you, is when you don't actualize what you know. What you know you can. Yes, what you know is possible.
Yeah. And one of the things I think that takes away from that being space is the judgment that people have of themselves. That is way more than what other people have of them. And
yeah.
We have been good students of this reality. You know, we have learned how to judge ourselves, criticize ourselves, critique ourselves. Why? Because unless you criticize yourself, how will you improve? How will you grow?
True that.
But you ask,
absolutely.
Would an infinite being need to improve? It's like that.
Yeah, I mean, is there even anything wrong with you that you'd have to change it? Is there anything really wrong with you that, and when we are looking for improvement, we are actually first looking for the problem. We are looking for what's wrong with us. That we can change. So when you actually step out of judgment is when you start to recognize that, oh, okay, there is nothing wrong with me.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. And that's so freeing, right, Bhagya, to just know, just know that, like, I'm not wrong.
Nothing wrong with me.
Yeah. Just to know that, because we've all lived in so much of that self-judgment and everywhere we go, we are always told, like you said, that you have to be criticized to choose greater. You have to criticize to create greater. You have to, even our little kids in school have to be taught that they're not good enough so they can be better. And that's constantly putting them into the wrongness of themselves. So when you are actually told by people that, hey, you're not wrong, it's almost like sometimes it's I know the first time when I was told that there is nothing wrong, I was like, but don't you see it's wrong? Yeah. I wanted to convince them that it is wrong, because that was my reality back then.
Yeah.
And then when I was like willing to see it as, wow, there is no wrongness, it was so freeing.
Yeah. So between problem and possibility, there's one similarity. That's the first letter. Both begin with P.
Yeah.
But problems are disguised possibilities, right?
Yes.
So wherever you trip, there is your gold mine. So instead of, I believe that our energy and our attention needs to be on the problem just for a nanosecond, long enough to know that, well, this is something that requires change.
Yes.
And then from there we move to possibilities. So what else is possible? What do I need to choose here? What is required of me here? What else is possible here? And the moment you go into questions, you will begin to get information. People will show up.
Yes.
We live in a very abundant and kind and generous universe, okay? So things begin to work very differently when you don't look at it as a problem. Like Einstein said, you cannot solve the problem from the same level of consciousness that created it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're willing to rise above that and look at it from a different lens, a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I promise you, it can be fun. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be a struggle. As long as we are asking questions, we are on the right track. But we can't sit there and get run over, right? We have to keep moving.
Yeah. even one step at a time.
Oh,
But
what?
keep moving.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So true.
True.
That
I
was
see
so
all these
beautiful.
people here, and my heart is so full of
Yeah,
gratitude for each and every one of you who has chosen to be on the call. And
truly.
I cannot thank you enough, Chandana, for choosing to.
Thank you. Thank you all of you for being on.
I
And
just have
truly,
to.
I'm actually, there's so much of gratitude right now
Yeah,
in my space for everybody on, for you,
absolutely.
Bhagya, for being who you be, for
Thank you.
being, like I said, the inspiration for all of us.
So, what would it
And
be like if I were to have all of you on the Hope Call on the first
oh,
Sunday of every
wow.
month? It's a free
Wow.
call, and Hope stands for healing our precious earth through laughter and joy. So we have a
How
lot of fun there.
beautiful is
We
that?
talk about reading.
Can we just, Rishma, can you just send out a little link here on the chat so everybody gets the date and the time and stuff like that, please, darling?
It's on my timeline on the
Okay.
first Sunday of every month, 9
Okay.
p.m. Indian Standard Time. We
Awesome.
do send out a thing, and
Right.
people, when I say, would you be willing to be a contribution to the planet? Like people, oh, so what am I supposed to give here? Nothing.
Yes.
Have to give anything. It's like the planet contributes to us all the time. And even though we may not realize that, we contribute to the planet all the time also.
Yes.
So whatever energy I'm being in this moment is what I'm contributing to the planet. So imagine when you're angry, what are you contributing? When you're frustrated, what are you contributing? When you're sad, what are you contributing? When you're happy and joyful, what are you contributing? So we do a lot of clearing for ourselves so that we can be better contributors to the planet.
Yes, I know we would all love to be on it. And I know I'm speaking for everybody on this call. I don't think anyone's going to miss the first Sunday, 9 p.m. IST
Yeah.
on the Hope Call. Yes. Yes. That's such a beautiful, beautiful call. I mean, being able to contribute to the planet.
Yes.
The planet that's continuously contributing to all of us. I mean, that we don't even pause for a moment and forget the gratitude. We don't even acknowledge it.
Yeah.
We don't even, I mean, the gratitude is the next stage. We don't even acknowledge that we receive from the planet. We just keep taking and taking and taking, almost like it's our birthright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is where we see what true allowance is like.
Yes.
The planet, nature.
Yes, indeed.
Truly in allowance of no matter what we do, they don't tip us off and send us off somewhere into space. That is the level of allowance that it has for us.
Right. Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
So can I ask anybody if anyone wants to come on with some questions? Bhagya, would that be okay for you, sweetheart?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyone on the call who would like
this is one of my favorite people on the planet here. Hi, Ishita. Hi, sweetie.
Hello. Hello.
So good to see you.
Hi.
Bhagya, somebody had a question in the chat.
Yes.
They're saying that we've been talking a lot about being, so how do we be?
Yeah. How do you be? It's there was a whole call I did on how you be. I do this weekly clearing call. We started on 14th of May 2016, and we've been doing it every week since. So how do you be is a great question to ask, because when you are being that energy of being, you are present totally. You are grateful. You're in the question. You have no judgment. And you're willing to receive whatever shows up without a point of view. So the willingness to be in that space of gratitude for whatever is allows more to show up. So that's how you be. You occupy all of your space. You're not here. And people often say, like, how do you learn to be that? I said, just listen to your body. because your body knows how to be. If I'm in Bangalore, sitting here in this room, that's where my body is. It's the mind that wanders all over the place.
Yes.
The body knows how to be in allowance, it knows. And it also knows how to be present and be where you are. So in very simple words, it's like when you are being present, when you are without judgment, when you're open to possibilities, you're grateful for whatever is. And you're willing to receive. Does that answer?
I think it was Kanika who asked, right?
I don't know who asked.
Yes, Kanika says yes.
So, does it help? Got it, sweetie?
Yeah.
Okay. That's how it is. Somebody says, Natasha.
Natasha has a question here.
Okay.
She says, I feel a lot of pressure, lots to handle after my dad's death. Please suggest some clearing.
Natasha, when my father passed away, and my dad and I, we were very close. When my father passed away, I felt like a part of me had died with him. But I also remembered that a part of him lived through me. And I promised that I would live in a way that would be an honoring of him and his life. And the people who pass away are not there physically, but energetically they are there. And it would sadden them to see us grieving for them. So my attitude to life is very simple. I celebrate each and every one. And I think that when we live in a way that is loving, cherishing, nurturing, honoring with people, then there are no regrets when they go, when they choose to go. It's when we get into a tug of war of control or this or that, right or wrong or whatever it is, that in hindsight, there are only two things we say in life. Either we say, I'm so glad I did, or I wish I had. And I'm so glad I did is always a better thing to say. So yes, Dad is not there, but energetically he's there. And wherever he's in a part of that greater consciousness, that will be a contribution to you. And we have to be willing to let people choose for themselves. Choose when they go, that is their choice. And we have to respect that. There's so many times people say, no, but what will I do? I want my dad here. I want somebody here. Even if they're suffering, I don't care. I have to have them here. But when you allow people to choose what they choose for themselves, it's an honoring of their choice. And that makes it easier to deal with life. And life goes on. And nobody can actually make up for anybody's loss. You might feel a void, you might feel a vacuum. But life has a way of being in that space of allowance for you to grieve when you have to, cry when you need to. And then what else is possible now? Because there are two things, like the birth and death, that we cannot, negotiate with. There is a small dash in between the two numbers. That is the scope of our lives. And we have to maximize it as much as possible. Not in terms of years, but in the way, the quality of the lives that we choose to live. I don't know if that helps, Natasha. What energy, space, and consciousness can I choose to be to deal with this reality that I'm faced with in a way that is honoring of my dad and myself? Does it help, sweetie? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Because for me, it's like I've lost my mom at a very young age of cancer.
Okay.
It's been always affecting me a lot, and I've been raised by a single parenthood.
Okay.
So it was a little too much impact, and a lot of things were started breaking in the house after my dad, and it was too much for me to handle. But I asked this question, what's right about this?
Yeah.
And everywhere I'm running away from responsibility, I realized I had to deal with it.
Yeah. But
And
what
if
I
I can
moved
just come
forward,
in here for a second, Bhagya and Natasha, what would make your dad really happy to see you step up and creating a life of phenomenons, or being overwhelmed with everything that you have to do and be,
Creating a life, and I've really changed. Thanks
right?
to access
Yes,
the facilities.
yes, sweetheart, I
I'm
know.
not the same
Yes, we've
person.
seen you over the years turn into this beautiful, magnificent lady, and it's so wonderful to see you.
I wish I could see her now.
I know. Why is everyone switched off their videos?
Okay, actually, it doesn't really show so much in the camera.
I know there is one person,
Uh,
he's a good friend of mine, who's open for adoption.
Hi, beautiful.
So Vivek will often tell me, oh, so you got a new child added on. Okay. You never feel that you don't have a parent, sweetheart.
yeah.
There are people who are willing to contribute to you.
Yeah, a lot of people are contributing, no complaints.
Yeah. So it is like nobody can take anybody's place and they don't need to also. But you're never alone. You're with yourself, not by yourself.
Yes, that's true.
And what if you could just remove that space of being needy, needing people or needing anybody?
No, I'm not in that space of being needy. It's more to do with pressure, like so many things, trust me, and we don't realize the gratitude our parents do when they are there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which is exactly what I said.
yes.
Learn to honor, cherish, and love people while they're there,
Yes,
so
yes.
that they live happily, and when they go, they die peacefully and happily too. And then, it's like,
And then you have no regret too.
yeah, no regrets.
Yeah, there's no regret. There's just more space to
And
honor their choice.
what can I be and do different today to be able to handle all of this with total ease? And what energy, space, and consciousness can I be that I have never chosen to be, that does not allow me to be overwhelmed by anything, including the responsibilities that I now have to shoulder.
Awesome. Thank you so
That
much.
was so wonderful.
Please, we want the recording of the call.
You will get the recording, darling. I was just writing that out for everybody who's on the WhatsApp group, because that's just easier for us to just post it there, which is why Rishma and I posted out the WhatsApp link. So as long as you are in the group, we will post the replay of this call in that.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bhagyalakshmi and
You're welcome.
Chandana.
You're welcome. You're welcome, sweetheart.
All of you will receive the recording in the next 24 hours.
Yeah. I have to tell you one thing though before we leave. Can I?
Yes, please.
So I was doing a class a couple of months ago, and majority of the participants wanted to get married. There was one that when you said married was running in the opposite direction as fast as he could, but that was only one. The others were all desirous of getting married and feeling that they were getting stuck and nothing was happening. So I've had one-on-one sessions with people for a long, long time about this. And so they said, no, we need to know what to do. So I created a class. It's called Be the One to Have the One.
Wonderful.
Vivek made an amazing video for me for that particular class. And we started, and then people are saying, when are you having the next one? When are you having the next one? That was so much fun.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Please do let us know when you have the next class. Is this going to be online too, Bhagya?
Yeah, it is online. It is
Wonderful.
online because it doesn't have any prerequisites. And I didn't dare invite strangers into the house thinking that this is a place where you can meet people, and I wouldn't like it. So I decided to make it an online class. And
Right.
Be the
That
support.
is so wonderful. Please do post.
Imagine young men coming, यहाँ लड़की देखने को मिलेगा. That would be like fun for
Yes.
other people.
Oh, yeah, right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you have to sometimes watch your own back also.
Yes.
Bhagya, I would
Sometimes.
certainly
Did you
like
say
to give.
sometimes?
Yeah, I'm going to start soon, but there are like few people already waiting, like when. And I'd gone for a foundation class to Mumbai recently, and not everybody wanted to do foundation at that time, but they wanted to do some class. And Dr. Amita Thakkar very kindly organized the class, and we had an evening class called Questions, Choices, Possibilities, and Contributions with Bhagyalakshmi Murali. So they're saying, okay, so this is also online. No, it will be online. This is just live for the people. So
That's
you've
again.
been asking, so what do you create? I do like this, have fun things to do.
Yes, I was talking to Bhagya today, and I said, Bhagya, what are you creating now? Let's let everybody know that. Let's bring it out there. So, let's have people choose greater and receive the beautiful energies of Bhagya, not just by being in Bangalore, but by being anywhere in the world. I mean, where have we
Some
decided that it
people
has
who are
to be?
here who have been on the clearing calls also, and
Yes.
like Ritu and also Reshma and Savita and so many people.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful.
There she's, baby.
So I want to thank you, sweetheart. We have so many more questions, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to take them.
Yeah, is there any urgent question? Please ask. I'm willing to answer if there is time, if you are free, Chandana.
I'm free, darling. I just wanted to honor you with your time. And
I'm fine.
Fine.
Is
So
there
we
any
have
question?
Divya. I think anybody before Divya? Reshma, anybody before Divya?
I'll just check. Just give me a moment.
I think it's Divya. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. So she says, I'm not happy in my relationship, but due to children and other things, I don't have guts to move out. What clearing can I use? I'm 46, not physically strong, and I'm not financially independent.
Okay. The first thing is to let go of the point that you're not physically strong. Because whether somebody else is listening to you or not, your body is your very loyal friend and always listening to you. Yeah. So it says, oh, we are not very strong. Okay, let's be weak. No. What can I be and do different to be stronger today than I was yesterday? Okay. And then it is like, what is the nature of relationship that you have with yourself? Are you there somewhere? Would you be able to answer? So this is the foundation for a phenomenal life, the relationship that each one of us has with ourselves, and that you come across in the 5 elements of intimacy. You look at yourself and see how much you're honoring yourself, how much you're trusting yourself, how vulnerable do you choose to be, how much in allowance of you are you, and how grateful are you for you. And just check this and work on that. I'm not saying that everything will change, but a lot can change. And also, there are reasons why you're staying on in this relationship. The children and other things. And when you say, I don't have the guts to move out, that also is a conclusion. It's not about moving out, it is about seeing what can be changed in that situation. I don't know the details, so I'm not in a position to say anything. But if you can say, what can I be and do different today to enhance my relationship with myself in a way that allows me to go through this day better than any other day before. So I always say that you are an invitation to the world as to how it should treat you. It will treat you exactly the way you treat yourself. So the external world is sometimes a mirror to what is going on inside. And most of us don't realize that.
Yeah.
So when we realize that, oh my God, is this what I'm doing to myself? Then and stop doing that. Surprisingly, it stops somewhere else also. Can I tell you a small story, Chandana?
Yes, please.
So somebody had come for a healing session. His throat was totally gone. He couldn't speak and it was hurting a lot. And he came for healing, and I asked him, so what is it that is stuck there? What is it that you're unable to express? He says, I'm very scared of my father. I'm the eldest in the family, so all responsibility is mine. And all rights belong to my brothers because they're younger. And every day when I come back from the shop, my father gives me a really bad time. If I have done something, he scolds me for doing it. If I don't do something, he scolds me for not doing it. And that's not the worst thing. The worst thing is that he yells at me in front of my wife and children. It's a joint family.
Right.
I said, look, your father has not come here asking for help, and I can't go and tell him, don't treat him like this. Treat your son like this. So just for now, while we're working, while I'm doing the healing for you, would you be willing to let go of your points of view about your father and his points of view?
Yeah.
And we did some work. Even before he left the house, the throat was completely clear. 3 days later, he calls me. Madam ji, ye to chamatkar hi ho gaya. Madam, this is a miracle has happened. And I said, like, what happened? He says, my father is now asking me for suggestions and advice. Something that has never happened. So I told him, look, this is your life. You're the producer, director, story writer, financer of this film you call your life. And in that film, you've given your father the role of a villain. He cannot be a hero.
Yeah.
So all the projections, expectations, separations, rejections, conclusions, judgments, points of view that we have about others doesn't allow them to be something different. So guess where the change has to occur? So this is where we always get back to ourselves.
Yes.
What can I
This
be?
is like when we say, right, that your points of views create your reality. Your
Yes.
reality doesn't create your points of views. Yeah.
Yes.
Just
And
changing our points of views can change so much
so
around
much.
us.
So there is no quick fix to this, because there are many things that trigger this kind of a situation. And I'm not making light of it. And I know it can be extremely overwhelming. However, we can either get overwhelmed or overcome the overwhelm by choosing to be ourselves, more of ourselves than ever before. Does it help, dearest? So Anu says she's operating out of anxiety and fear these days. So did you ask who does it belong to, Anu?
Vivek says something very interesting. Sorry, before I can. Vivek says something very interesting. He says, if you don't mind me saying, Divya, if you did not have the guts, you would not still be here. It takes a lot of guts to carry on living, regardless of what is going on.
That's why I say he's my SUN and SON.
Yes, he's your SUN and SON.
Very true, Vivek. Very true. So,
Gagan has a question.
yes.
Hi, both of you. Love to see you.
Hi. How
Thank
are you feeling, sweetheart?
I'm not good right now. So my question is like, I've chosen to be faster this month, and because of going to Australia, so I have chosen so many things like this I'm going to do, and now I'm being very slow with my classes also and with my body also. So what exactly it is? I'm being in a lot of questions right now.
So you asked, of course, who does it belong to?
Yeah, I did.
Because there are many people who feel overwhelmed. So you did ask that, right?
Yeah, I did.
And it is yours.
It is not mine.
Okay.
Return it to the center, but still, my body is not giving me that much of strength what I'm looking forward for it.
Okay, it is listening to you very carefully, and it's very obediently yours. Your body.
Yeah.
So what would you like to change the script a little bit? Thank you, body, for putting up with me. I am so grateful to you. Thank you, body, for helping me complete all of this. Whatever it is that you need to do, all of those even I need to do. I'll see you in Australia, okay, in Noosa. But the thing is, there is a lot of material that you need to have read and gone through. And each thing has its own clearing also. So the body has to process all that. It's not just the mind. So you have to be very gentle, be very kind. And very nurturing. Are you drinking enough water? Your sugar, salt requirements, are they being met?
Yes, I'm drinking a lot of water, and this is the first time I just chosen not to keep a karwa chauth, just because I was not able to live without water for a day.
Okay.
And it was like I came to know, yes, just because of I'm doing a lot of stuff nowadays.
And also,
Yeah,
if I can
thank you.
just come in here, Gagan, I've seen how much you've chosen in the past 2 months. I mean, you sat in almost 8 classes, I think,
Yeah.
in a month and a half. And
Yes.
a lot of processing, isn't that?
And
What if
if
you,
you
what if you
manage
didn't have to
so
judge
many
what your body
classes,
is going through?
yeah. If you manage so many classes, then your body must be very, very kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Could we be in more gratitude for the body and give it permission to release whatever it is that needs to go with ease?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Thank
even the reference materials and all those things are like, they have a tremendous capacity to clear stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's like putting a lot of stuff in at the same time and expecting the body to deal with it also. So this is where you have to listen to what your body is saying and allow your body to help you in a way that gets you there and back safely. So the moment you go into judgment of your body, you're going to stop everything that can change and work. You can ask your body, okay, so how do we do this body in a way that is kind to you? And how grateful can I be for you to help me with this work that you're doing?
Okay.
And do a little bit every day.
Mhm.
It's like if you take a chapati, and shove it in your mouth, the whole thing, you're not going to be able to either swallow or spit it out. You'll gag on that. But chapati was never really meant to be eaten that way, right? One single morsel at a time, and then the whole chapati goes in. So like that, divide your work in a way that is honoring of you and your body, and you will find that you will be able to manage it with the greatest ease. And give your body the honoring that it requires for what all you accomplished in a very short period of time. Right? I hope it does.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. I will see you at Nusa.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we will party together, right?
Yes.
And have more conversations there.
I don't know about the party, but we'll go to the beach together. That is
Definitely, that will be the party. The class itself is a party, right?
It is.
I mean, it's like a party of, wow, it's like, I mean, fun, the changes, the possibilities that show up
Beyond words.
beyond words. Truly.
Difficult to put it into words.
Yes. Yes.
So once you have the desire to be somewhere, you will get there because you're co-creating with the universe and it will pitch in. It has your back. If you have your back yourself first, then it has your back too. So everything will get done with ease if you don't push yourself too much. Not one much also. Not too much, not one much. No pushing.
Before we end, can I
Anu
say
has a
something?
question.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Thank you so much, Chandana and Bhagya. This call has been so beautiful. I can't start to describe. I am very, very grateful. And I'm sure each one on this call has to say the same thing. Masda nods. So, yes. And
Thank you.
No, you have to thank Chandana. She's the one who came up with the idea. I'm honored and extremely grateful.
When I asked who would be a contribution to this call, and it was you who popped up instantly.
Wow.
And I was like, yes, yes, it was so light.
So wonderful.
Yes.
And-
Truly, questions create greater. Truly.
Yeah.
Okay, before we
And I think let's just answer
just one moment, Chandana,
Anu's
before I forget.
question. Yeah.
Bhagya, could you send us the link so then I can put it into the chat, or I could send it out with the recording as well
For what, dearest?
for the hope call?
Yeah, that will be sent on the day of the call. I have to ask Vivek to create that.
Okay.
And I will send it to you. Then you can put it on the group. And I hope you are my friends on Facebook. It's
Yes,
on,
yes, I am.
it's I post that on the public page, and not just for my friends. The hope call is for everybody.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
Share it.
Bhagyal, Anu is asking you to please answer my question. She says,
What
I
is
seem
the
to
question?
operate out of anxiety and fear these days. It seems so overwhelming that I don't know what to do. Please help me to clear this.
Okay, so you ask like who the Dickens does it belong to? You asked Anu?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Where are you? Oh, there you are. You asked
Yeah.
that?
Yes, I've asked that question. So sometimes I feel light and sometimes I feel heavy.
Okay. So sometimes heavy and sometimes light, sometimes there and sometimes not there is usually not yours. Okay. And then one question that I suggested that we ask ourselves, if you remember, who am I being in this moment? Would an infinite being choose fear? What would you say?
No.
So who are you being when you say your fear? Where is the question? I can see.
I'm being a finite being.
Is that who you truly are?
No.
Then is that who you want to be, choose to be?
No.
Would you be willing to choose something different?
Yes.
Okay, so on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being no fear at all and 10 being maximum fear, where are you?
About 8.
Okay, would you like to clear that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, is it there?
No.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, what else? What was the other thing apart from
It's the anxiety over the future,
Can I just ask a question here?
Yes.
What I would sense with using the tools of access, things would change so fast that there would be a sense of excitement coming into my life, which was so new for me that I would misidentify that as fear, because the energy is pretty much the same. So ask yourself if you are misidentifying the energy of excitement or what your future could be now. And you're labeling it as fear because that's just something that you know.
Yeah. True.
There is also another thing, Anu.
Yeah.
Do you acknowledge how aware you are?
No.
Okay. So if you were to acknowledge your level of awareness, how many people on this planet are filled with fear, anxiety, despair, and all of those things? Few,
Quite a few.
quite a few. So are you picking up on those energies and then because you sense it in your body, you're making it yours?
Yeah.
Do you need to do that, sweetie?
Yeah.
You need to do it?
No.
Okay. So let it go.
Yeah.
Does it belong to? And if it is yours, well, you can say, okay, so I destroy and uncreate it now. I will not allow any distractor to mess my life.
Yes. True.
Distractions will not allow me to take inspired action. And that's what I choose to take.
Yeah.
So are you okay now?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Chandana, thank you once again.
Thank you, Bhagya. Thank you so much, sweetheart. And thank you, everybody who came on this call and made this possible. And
This is so amazing. I feel like taking a shot just to
Yes,
oh my
please.
goodness. How
Yes,
many
please.
people? Can I do that, please, Chandana?
Yes, please. Reshma, you too, please. My phone's on charging, so I can't do it.
Awesome. Thank
This
you.
is so
people.
wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for hopping on and making this possible. And like the title of the, thank you, Mahima, like the title of the call is Conversations of Possibilities.
Yeah. At what energy, space, and consciousness can each one of us be to perceive, receive the infinite possibilities that are always available to us.
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you.
indeed. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And you will get the replay. And we will catch you in 2 weeks for the next call with a surprise special guest. And I thank you once again, Bhagya. I love you, sweetheart. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Reshma. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Thank you, Bhagyama.
Yeah.